Hey everybody, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to another video on my channel today. Today in this episode, guys, another month has finally passed. So that means it is time for my daily monthly of what I watched in the month of August. As a matter of fact, because it is September the 1st, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on what came out that I watched in the theater and what also came out this month that released on streaming, as a matter of fact. So yeah, guys, that is what I do every daily month here if you're new to the channel. But if you guys are also new to the channel, I do more than just the movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I also play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that here on the channel. So if that kind of stuff is your speed to watch on YouTube, guys, please make sure you go watch a couple of my other videos, give a couple of my other videos a chance, guys. And if you do end up liking this channel, guys, please make sure you go check out my channel, because there will definitely be something in there for you to enjoy. And make sure you hit that red subscribe button, but most importantly, press the notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And those of you guys that are not new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you go subscribe right after this video, guys. But without further ado, guys, enjoy the video. Let's get started, guys, with the very first movie I went and saw in the theater this month, and that is M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. So now, with this movie in particular, I actually heard this movie got a lot of mixed reviews. I've heard some people liked this movie, and some people did not care for this movie at all. But personally, this in my personal opinion, this is one of his better movies. In my personal opinion, I actually thought that this movie was pretty good, actually. And to be honest, a lot of people knew that Josh Hartnett was the bad guy in this movie already, and Josh Hartnett played the dad, and he ended up being the killer at the end. Spoiler alert! Sorry I didn't warn you guys first, but in my personal opinion, it was a pretty good twist. It was a twist for me. Because I actually had no idea who Josh Hartnett was. So for me, it was a twist. And with this movie, like I said, I think that this is one of M. Night Shyamalan's better movies. Like, it's definitely better than The Last Airbender. And by a mile, this movie is better than The Visit. Because to be honest, I did not care for The Visit, like, at all. I thought The Visit was stupid. But this movie in particular, I actually thought was pretty good. And this is one that I would definitely watch again. The second movie I went and saw this month was Cuckoo. So now, Cuckoo, I did not like this movie at all. I did not like this movie. Like, to be completely honest, everything that Dan Stevens has been in this year, Abigail, and before that he was in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and I enjoyed both of those movies. And when I kept seeing the advertisements for this movie, I'm all like, I'm not so sure if I want to go see this movie, because it doesn't look like my kind of horror movie, and it looks pretty disturbing. But then I thought, okay, it's got Dan Stevens in it. The stuff that he's done recently has been pretty good, so maybe I'll like this movie to some extent, even if I don't like it. But personally, bless me, sorry about that, guys. But personally, I did not care for this movie at all whatsoever. I like the suspense that this movie had, but this movie ended up crossing the line for me a little bit. It wasn't too bloody or gory, but I do believe this movie is rated R, as a matter of fact. But here, let me look at this real fast. This movie is rated R, but but it's not that gory of a movie. But yes, it says it is a horror mystery movie. And to be honest, it did say it was rated R, but it's not that gory of a movie. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. The story, in my opinion, just wasn't very intriguing. Yeah, this movie I just did not care for at all. I feel like they could have done better with this movie, if you were to ask me, as a matter of fact. But yeah, overall, I just did not care for this movie at all whatsoever. But on that same Friday, I actually went and saw Cuckoo in the Afternoon, and then later that evening, I went and saw Borderlands, and in my opinion, this movie was pretty damn fun, actually. Like, I've heard nothing but terrible things about this movie. And I actually heard this movie opened up with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I did not like this movie at all. This movie... I just said this movie was fun, and I said I did not like this movie at all. I meant to say, I actually thought this movie was pretty fun. I actually thought that this movie was a cheesy sci-fi movie, as a matter of fact. I had a lot of fun with this movie, as a matter of fact. And to be honest, this movie was pretty fun. It was a cheesy sci-fi movie, like Beneath the Planet of the Apes. And there's a lot of fans of that movie, but there are some people that don't particularly care for that movie. But this movie in particular, I actually thought was pretty fun, and I definitely really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered. And I know the cast in this movie is completely random, but personally, I thought the cast did a great job with this movie, and I even have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this movie, as a matter of fact. But next up on our list, I went and saw Alien Romulus. So now, I actually recently watched all the Alien movies for my first time leading up to this movie, and I wasn't too big into the Alien movies, but there some of them I actually liked, as a matter of fact. But through all the other movies, I will do a ranking of them eventually, because as of right now, I did a watch through all the Alien movies except for Alien vs. Predator, and then I'm going to watch all the Predator movies, and then watch Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And then after I'm done with that, I will do a ranking of all of those franchises. So I just want to let you guys all know that those are 2 videos that will be coming out eventually, as a matter of fact. So be on the lookout for that. But Alien Romulus. So like I said, I'm new to the Alien franchise. I'm not too big into it like a lot of other people are. But I 100% agree with a lot of the Alien fans out there. This is one of the best Alien movies. And this is a good, solid prequel, in my opinion. Like, I think this is probably like the best Alien Romulus... not Alien Romulus. This is the best Alien prequel that we have gotten, in my personal opinion. And this movie takes place during the first before after the first Alien and before Aliens, the second movie in the franchise. But yeah, this movie was pretty good in my opinion, but the Alien franchise wasn't exactly my favorite, but yes, I did enjoy this movie, and yeah, this movie was pretty good in my opinion. And I would definitely watch this movie again if you were to ask me. But so yeah, Alien Romulus was a good movie. It was probably one of the best Alien films yet, as a matter of fact. But out of all the Alien franchise, I will go more in depth on those movies when I do a ranking of them, as a matter of fact. So be on the lookout for that, guys. All right. Next up on our list, I went and saw Blink Twice with Channing Tatum. And this is another horror I don't even have much to say about this movie. Because, as of right now, 2 other horror movies that I watched this year, Night Swim and Cuckoo, the one I just talked about, those are, so far in my opinion, those are two of the worst movies this year so far. And to be honest, this movie is going to be on that list. Because I actually think that this movie was worse than Blink Twice, if you were to ask me. And this movie was horrendously awful. And I did not care for this movie at all whatsoever. And to be honest, let me tell you guys what I thought about this movie. When I went in to watch this movie, when I started off very underwhelmed with this movie when I walked in. And then as the movie progressed, I ended up not liking it because the whole third act of this movie was just bad. Like, if you were to ask me, the whole third act was bad. Because everybody but except 2 ladies ended up surviving. Everybody else in the movie just ended up dying. And then they try to make like this big twist that Channing Tatum is a psycho and he brought them all there to kill them. They were trying to make that the twist. But it wasn't a twist at all, in my opinion. Because they show him doing creepy stuff and doing disturbing stuff throughout the entire movie. They just try to make it like this big twist, this big reveal. And it was just garbage. How this whole third act played out. And this movie in particular just was not for me at all. Like I said, I started off very underwhelmed with this movie. But then when it got to the third act, it was even worse. And I ended up being negative. Very negative towards this movie. Because there was nothing but awful things that I had to say about this movie when I walked out. It was not very good at all. And I would not recommend this movie at all. I would actually recommend you skip this movie if you plan on seeing it, because it is not very good at all whatsoever. Next up on our list, I actually went and saw The Crow remake. So now, I actually never saw the original Crow movie, but But in my opinion, I wanted to go and experience this movie for myself because it was like a sci-fi action flick, and I normally like those. I normally like those kinds of movies. I normally like sci-fi action flicks. And I went into this movie with low expectations. But then I actually ended up liking this movie for what it was. I thought Bill Skarsgård performance in this movie was really good. And to be honest, I wasn't crazy about Monkey Man. I didn't dislike Monkey Man, but I definitely wasn't crazy about it because with these revenge action stories, they kind of just feel like they kind of feel like they've just been played out. Like I feel like with these action revenge stories, they're just trying to like remake John Wick because people are all like, oh, those John Wick movies have done so well. Let's try to take that exact same concept and just make action revenge stories like John Wick. And to me, yeah, because of that, those kinds of stories have just been played out and they've kind of overdone them at this point. But this movie in particular did have that exact same concept. However, they changed it up a little bit with some scientific stuff in there. And that's what I liked about this movie, is that they didn't retread another action revenge type of story. But personally, I enjoyed this movie for what it was, and this is definitely a movie I would go back to revisit because I enjoyed this movie for what it delivered. And yes, even though I've never seen the original Crow, I would watch this movie again, and I definitely enjoyed it. But to be honest, this movie did not do so well at its opening weekend at the box office. Like I heard it didn't even make it into the top 5. And when I ended up liking this movie, I was severely disappointed to hear that. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie for what it was, but yes. I'm sorry guys, I never saw the original and I ended up liking this movie. But before we get into what I watched on streaming, there is one more movie that I went and saw on Friday that came out on Friday, and that was Blumhouse's new horror film called Afraid. So now with this movie, I have not seen any reviews on this movie, but I didn't think that this movie was too bad, actually. It definitely wasn't one of the best Blumhouse movies, but it's definitely one of the better ones, in my opinion. Like, for sure, it's definitely better than Night Swim. I did not care for Night Swim at all, whatsoever. But the next Blumhouse movie that's coming out, Speak No Evil, I'm excited to see that one. And this movie is definitely better than The Exorcist Believer. If you guys have followed me for any determined amount of time, you guys all know why I think that any Blumhouse movie would be better than The Exorcist Believer. And I even thought that this movie was better than The Black Phone. I did not care for The Black Phone at all. I know there was fans of that movie, but I did not care for The Black Phone at all. but with this movie is only like an hour and 24 minutes. So it's just shy of an hour and a half. But I really enjoyed this movie. It starts out very underwhelming in my opinion, but then it gets better as it progresses. And to be honest, this movie is similar to Megan, and I do think that horror movie Megan is one of the best is one of the best Blumhouse horror movies that we have gotten. But this movie in particular, I actually thought that this movie was a good movie, but it's definitely not like one of the great Blumhouse movies. But with this movie, I really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered. And to be honest, I would be fine with seeing a sequel. But I don't think a sequel is ever going to happen to this movie. But with this movie in particular, I don't want to spoil this movie for you guys, but because I would want you guys to go check this movie out for yourself, because it's one of the better horror movies this year, and it's definitely one of the better Blumhouse movies, in my opinion. And I definitely enjoyed this movie for what it was, as a matter of fact. But so yeah. So that's everything I went to the theater to see. And now we are going to get into what I watched on streaming. And the very first thing I watched on streaming this month, and I paid $3 to rent it, it is something called The Mousetrap. Now what is The Mousetrap? Is what you're probably going to ask me. Well, originally it was supposed to be called Mickey's Mousetrap, because this is the Mickey Mouse horror movie that debuted on Prime. It was not a theatrical theater release like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I haven't seen the second one yet. I need to get around to watching that because I missed it in the theater. But I did see the first one, and I had fun with the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey as a guilty pleasure. But I did not care for Mickey's Mousetrap at all. And the writing in this movie was crap. The special effects were extremely dated. And yeah, I want to spoil this movie for you guys right now, just so I can tell you how bad this movie is. But I will say first off, the thing I liked about in the very first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is because it wasn't guys in masks. It was the actual Winnie the Pooh and Piglet themselves going feral and trying to find prey. Some of you guys might actually think they're guys in masks, but they're not. For two reasons that I've noticed on Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. One is that you can see Pooh's lips moving. He doesn't really talk in the movie at all. But his lips do move a little bit. And down to where his collarbone is, it's not flimsy like a mask. So that should tell you that it's not a guy in a mask. But if you look at Mickey's Mousetrap, if you look at the Mousetrap, Mickey's lips don't move. And you can easily tell down right here where his collarbone is, there's something flimsy, like it's the bottom of a mask. And he's just going around slashing and killing people at this arcade. But the whole premise of this movie is that there's this girl that's having a birthday party. It's her birthday, and then and then she works at this arcade, and then her friends come in and surprise her with a birthday party, and they hang out where she works, which is at this arcade. But then Mickey ends up locking them in, and then there's this one girl that you get introduced to at the very beginning that has all of this dramatic and police dialogue, and and the police think she did all the killing. So it goes back and forth to her story, to the whole thing with Mickey Mouse. And she ends up getting framed, and everybody else ends up dying except for her, because she ends up going to prison because she thinks she committed all that murder and whatnot. So yes, I would not recommend this. I would not recommend you guys watch this movie. To be honest, guys, I would rather watch this movie over Blink Twice. Because it's not the story I didn't like about this movie, or the whole concept I didn't like about this movie. This movie was just horribly written. I mean, I do like the whole concept, but other than that, everything else about this movie is crap. And I wasn't underwhelmed with this movie at all. But with Blink Twice, that movie just progressed was just underwhelming, and then it just got bad as it progressed. And I did not like that at all. This movie was an absolute dog crap. And if I ever have to watch this movie again, put my head through the wall. But yes, I would definitely rather watch this over Blink Twice. But the last two movies that I did watch on streaming this month, and these are definitely better movies in my opinion. And the first one, they're both action movies, and one of them is a Prime original called Jackpot. And I really enjoyed Jackpot. For those of you guys that don't know for those of you guys that don't know what Jackpot is, so it's about this lottery killing spree game. So the whole point is it takes place in Los Angeles, and it takes place about 5 years from where we are nowadays. So the whole point is somebody's a target, and the target. So if I'm the target for somebody to kill, and there's a big jackpot for lottery money. So if somebody were to kill me, the person that would kill me would win the lottery. But if I survive until sundown, I would win and I would get the jackpot. So basically, Awkwafina is the target in this movie, and everybody in this movie is trying to kill her, because she's the target and everybody wants to win the jackpot. But then John Cena is also in this movie, and he tries to protect and help Awkwafina so she can survive and win the jackpot, as a matter of fact. So that is the whole point of this movie. And to be honest, this movie was pretty funny, and it was a blast. Yes, I get it. This movie is very absurd, and it sounds outlandish and ridiculous. But still, this movie is pretty fun, and I would recommend you guys watch this movie because it is a blast, as a matter of fact. But the last and final movie that I watched on streaming and this month is a Netflix original movie, and like I said, it's another action movie, and it's called The Union. This is starring Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry, and this has also got J.K. Simmons in it. And this movie was pretty good too. This was a very decent action flick, and it's a spy thriller. So it should tell you that it has a spy thriller based premise, but I don't want to spoil this movie for you guys, but because I want you guys to check this movie out for yourselves. But yeah, if you guys have not seen it, I would definitely recommend you guys watch this movie, because this is another action thriller that I really enjoyed as well. And I thought that this movie was just as good as Jackpot. And like I said, I would recommend you guys watch this movie and Jackpot back to back, because they are really good, as a matter of fact. So yeah, guys. Phew. This is a longer video than I expected, as a matter of fact, and I'm a little sweating because I'm heating up in my room, because it's really hot outside, and I forgot to open my window while I did this video, as a matter of fact. But so yeah, guys, join me down below in the comment section, as a matter of fact. Let me know what you watch in the month of August, and give me your thoughts and opinions on them, as a matter of fact. But so yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this episode, guys. Be sure you guys, if you guys are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I also play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that here on the channel. So if that kind of stuff is your speed to watch on YouTube, guys, be sure to go check out my channel, because there will definitely be something in there for you to enjoy. And those of you guys that are not new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you go subscribe right after this video. Share this video with your friends, click like on this video, and press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And those of you guys that are not new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you go subscribe right after this video, guys. But that ain't the redo, guys. I'm going to go bring back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact, guys. And with that said, though, guys, take care, drink water, and stay safe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!